Good morning, folks. Rick here. How are we doing this fine, glorious 28th of October?
Awesome.
Wow, listen to we got a whole bunch of people on today, or as I like to say, Rocktober. It's the last Monday in Rocktober for these calls, though. So hopefully everybody's rocking it in Rocktober. All right? So hold on a second here. Unfortunately, I got to do this wonderful thing that I have to do. Okay. I had to mute you all, but today I'm going to cover a couple words, okay? So once again, it's the 28th of October, Rocktober as I like to call it. Hopefully you're having a great month. You know, this first month of the fourth quarter is now winding down. We had a great interview last week. Nikki was great. Hope you guys listened to that over and over. Once again, don't forget every one of these calls are recorded, and they are put on Podbean. If you have a Android phone, Podbean, Podbean, free app, okay, in your phone. And the same thing if you have an iPhone, it's on the podcast, Podcast, podcast app. And, all you do is type in my name, Rick, last name Berube, and you have access to all of those. And a lot of you have joined, which is great, okay? And then also, don't forget, folks, I'm updating my YouTube channel at all times. Same thing. It's just in my name, Rick Berube. Please subscribe to my channel. I've got new videos. Just put a couple on last week. And we even have a couple of those entertaining, Rocktober live performance videos, which was great. We raised a lot of money for breast cancer, which was awesome. Thank you all who contributed and got involved. Okay, so today is Monday the 28th, as we've said. And one of the things I like to talk about today is in the fourth quarter, are these three words. I'm going to give them to you first, and I'm going to describe them. Okay, how do you maximize the fourth quarter? How do you turn the corner into having your best first quarter ever? By the way, which is the best place to be? And everybody on this call or listening to it later has the opportunity to do this, and that is maximize the fourth quarter. So not only do you finish strong this year, remember, winners sprint through the finish line. Okay, that's a very important point to remember, too. All right. So the first word is commitment. Let me give you all three: commitment, consistency, and discipline. Okay. So what is commitment? All right. Commitment to me is like, if I'm committed to something, I'm not once in a while committed. I'm not, if everything goes right, committed. Well, if everything falls into place, committed. Committed means it's committed. To me, commitment is like oxygen. Okay, you need oxygen to live. Commitment's like water. You need water to live. Commitment means you do it. You're committed to it. There's no weaseling from your commitment. Okay, but I'm going to be talking a lot about these three words on this call today. And if anybody has a question, all you got to do is hit *6. These three words should bring up questions from you guys. So the answer, all you got to do is hit *6, and I'll be able to hear you. Okay. So, once again, commitment, consistency, discipline. Commitment, okay? It's like being a little pregnant. There's no such thing. You either are or you are not. Commitment to your business, commitment to your family, commitment to your kids, your spouse. Those should be high ticket things that you never compromise. Okay? So, like, what is your goal? What is your goal for this year? What is your goal for next year? Those are all commitments you make to yourself, okay? And you shouldn't give yourself any wiggle room on commitment. Commitment is, okay? It really is that simple, okay? So what is my goal for this year? Okay, what often gets in my way? Because look, when we have a goal, there are also actions consistent with achieving the goal. And, a lot of you hear me tell this story all the time, but I'm going to tell it again. I was very fortunate early on in my career to be in a mastermind group with agents from all over the country and Canada. And we were very fortunate. We would meet before a Mike Ferry event. And I was very fortunate to be in this group. Our first three speakers, so within a year and a half, 6 months apart, I met Wayne Dyer. Okay, and Wayne Dyer, when he talked to us about commitment, said, okay, if you decide what you want, and you are steadfast in your thoughts, the universe will conspire to help you. I've always remembered that because I had never heard that before. Being from New England, still in my 20s, and I was like, wow, that is amazing. I've never heard that before. Because what I thought he was going to say is, if you have a commitment and you're steadfast and the universe is going to make it tough on you and you got to push through, that's not what he said. He said, if you have a goal in mind and you are steadfast, committed, okay, the universe will line up and conspire to help you eventually, not right away. I always remember that when it came to commitment. And then our next speaker we had was a guy named Deepak Chopra. Now, at this time, 1995, 96-ish, I'd never heard of Deepak Chopra. I thought they said Tupac. I'm like, we have Tupac? No, Deepak. I'm like, oh, Deepak. Okay, I know Deepak. I mean, I know who. I've never heard of Deepak, but let's see what we got. And his whole talk was, the process guarantees the outcome. And that's why if I am doing what I am committed to in the actions required, the outcome is guaranteed. Now, I don't know if everybody on this call believes that as much as I do, but I believe that. Okay, I've had it physically, that'll work for you. What you eat, that'll work for you. And that'll also work in what you're doing in your business as well if you are committed to it. Okay, and then 6 months later, we had another guy that we met called Michael Vance. Not as many people know who Michael Vance is, but Michael Vance was Walt Disney's right-hand man before Walt Disney passed away. And his whole talk was, Mike Vance is the guy that wrote the book, coined the phrase, think outside the box. And, his whole talk was, stop trying to be perfect before you take action. That is simply an excuse not to take action. Okay, so pretty powerful stuff, right? Hold in your mind what your goal is. The universe will line up. Okay, decide what the actions that are consistent. And don't get me wrong, like any journey, you're apt to make adjustments, and you should. But start out in that direction today, and you'll figure it out as you go. And then stop trying to be perfect before you take action, because there is no perfection in an imperfect world. Plus, most of the time, it's simply an excuse not to take action. Okay? So those are the things. Commitment. Mark Stark, the owner of your wonderful company, okay? Him and I talk about this all the time. Commitment's the only thing you can't teach. Think about that for a minute. You can't teach commitment. You either are or you are not. Think about this. If something happens with one of your kids, are you committed to fixing it? Of course you are. All right? It's the same thing with you and your business. Isn't it amazing that sometimes our commitment to other people is way more than to ourselves? But especially like with your kids and your family, they're watching you. So if you aren't as committed to yourself or as integrous or whatever, okay, they know that that's exactly how you're going to treat them as well. So, it does start with you, no doubt about it. Okay, so, and I'm talking about commitment to how do you stay motivated? I love when people tell me, Rick, it's so easy for you because you're so motivated. And I always want to say, do you think I wake up every day motivated? That's not true. I, some days, talk myself into being motivated, but most days I act myself into being motivated. Even if you're sitting down somewhere and you don't feel like you have the energy, you can manufacture it. Get up, do a couple jumping jacks, walk around the block, go to the gym. It's amazing what kind of reserve energy, that we have that we don't even account for. It's so true. So you guys all have it. So how do you stay motivated? All right? How do you keep your momentum going? Momentum is such an incredible word because it's the most awesome word in the dictionary when you're on the right side of momentum. And everybody in this call knows what I'm talking about. When you're on the right side of momentum, everything's lining up, everything's beautiful, everything's wonderful, and you can create that every day by the actions you're taking. Okay, it's really up to you. Okay, determined. Are you determined in your actions? It's also a very, very, very important word. So commitment. Does anybody have any questions about commitment for me? Don't forget, hit *6 on your phone and I can hear you. And then just make sure you remute your phone after, especially if you're on your cell phone. Any comments about that? Any thoughts about commitment, anybody? Come on, don't be shy. If you're thinking it, I guarantee you someone else is too. I want you to think about that when you do your 2020 goals, because all of you should have done it by now or at least be working on it. It's supposed to be done by the end of this month latest. So you got a couple days if you haven't finished it to get it done. Once again, here's what I know. Okay? Here's what I know. If you are committed to your goal, you'll do a business plan. I just know that by doing this for 34 years. In 2 months, I'll be able to say 35. I've been doing this for 34 years. If you're committed, you'll do a business plan. I tell your managers that. I'm having struggles with so-and-so. Great. Tell them to do a business plan and meet you. They won't. They're not committed. They're not committed. It's like saying, I want to lose weight. Write down what you're eating every day. I don't want to do that. Then you really don't want to lose weight. I mean, anybody, if I could snap my fingers and be on vacation where I want to be, I would do that, but it doesn't happen like that. Anybody can say it. It's a matter of what you're doing on a daily basis. Are you committed? You don't have to say a word. Let's just watch what you're going to do. Okay, that's how we know. All right? All right, no questions. I'll move on to my second word, which is consistency. Now, consistency is a fun word too, because when you're on the right side of consistency, it's great. When you're on the wrong side of consistency, it's not fun. Okay, now, how do you know when you're being consistent? Because you're getting the results you want. It's really that simple. Now, if you haven't been doing it long enough, that's a whole different conversation. But if you have been doing it long enough, then it's very obvious because you're getting what you want, or you're in process of getting what you want. One of the things I learned years ago, and I learned it from Mike Ferry through, being at the Mike Ferry system, was Earl Nightingale. Okay, you are what you repeatedly think about and do on a daily basis. It's so true. And, okay, success is it's when you're on your path and taking the right actions every day to end up where you're going to end up. That's a definition of success. It's not a definition. It's not a destination. Okay, it's a process. It's an event. It's an it's a action that you take every day. Okay, like my little book there, Success is a Verb. I call it habit replacement therapy. It's what you're doing on a daily basis. Okay, and that's either going to get you to your goal or it's not. But I don't know what to do today. That's a cop-out. I think that's a lazy cop-out myself. Well, if you had this, no. Everybody has the ability to do what we're talking about. Okay, if you choose to, it's a choice. Okay, so just like negative self-talk, when you beat yourself up, that's just being lazy. You want an excuse not to take action. So let me pick, I'm such a loser. I'm not, it's just an excuse. That's all it is. If you don't want to work, just don't work. Take a day off. Okay, which is interesting. I talked to a few people today that had such an awesome weekend that they need Monday off. Great, you deserve it. Take it off. You don't need to come up with a reason. Just take it off. I've got deals going. I had an incredible weekend. I'm taking Monday off. Great, you deserved it. Okay, but when you're supposed to be doing stuff and you're not doing it, it doesn't feel good, and we all know exactly what that feels like. So consistency really is me taking action, doing on some days what I want to be doing, and on other days I don't feel like doing it, but I do it anyway because I know I'm committed to it and I want to be consistent, because consistency is the only way you get there. See, it's amazing. Like when I do Success Series, everybody knows the answer to a few, like for instance, how do you get good at a presentation? You practice. Everybody knows that answer. But how many people actually practice their listening presentation? How do you get in shape? Consistently go to the gym. Yeah, everybody knows the answer. How do you, by eating right as well. Everybody knows the answer. And I'm going to tell you something too. Here's a question I hear all the time, whether it's in writing, people will text this to me, email to me, or ask me this question on my coaching. Rick, I know what to do. Why aren't I doing it? And some of you know my answer. I'm going to tell you. My answer is, why would you ever give that any energy? I need to know why well, then there's this. And then, because then your mind tells you, well, because of this and that. No, don't focus on why you're not doing it. Just start doing it. It's like every time I stab myself, in the eye with a pen, it hurts. Well, stop doing that. I know it sounds real simple, but a lot of times it is. The answer is pretty simple. All right? So consistency. Something, you got to show up every day and do it no matter what's going on. Okay? And then discipline. All right? There's one of those words that not everybody likes. But I would tell you this, though. If you're committed and you're being consistent, you love the word discipline. If you're not, you don't like that word. So honestly, when you hear the word discipline, how does that make you feel? If it makes you feel good, it probably means that you're on your way to doing what's necessary, or if not already doing it. All right? And if you hear the word discipline and you go, ugh, it probably means you're not doing it yet. So isn't it funny? Our reaction to certain words will actually tell us where we are. Okay? So discipline, now, I can only give you my definition. My definition goes like this. Doing what I'm supposed to be doing, even on the days I don't feel like doing it. That's discipline to me. And there are plenty of days that I don't feel like doing what I'm supposed to be doing, but you'll never know which ones they are. Because first off, I'm never going to utter the words. Whenever I wake up and I don't feel like, like this week I'm in Arizona. I'm on my way to the Goodyear office. All right? Whenever I'm, if I wake up this morning, I woke up feeling great, so I'm here. But even if I didn't, in no time, I've learned this. In 15 minutes, 20 minutes, a half an hour, sometimes 2 minutes, I can be feeling like doing my job. If I just don't entertain the thoughts, I don't feel like doing this today. Why would I ever even have, like when I interviewed Matthew Ferry a few months ago on the podcast, and he said, the only person who says to you, you're ugly, you're fat, you're stupid, is you. Nobody else does that. Okay? So, and our self-talk is so critical in this process. Do you guys understand something? Your perception of everything going on around you, how important that is? If you're perceiving it as bad, you're right, it's bad. If you're perceiving it as good, you're right, it's good. If you're perceiving it as necessary, like rejection to me is necessary. It's not bad, necessary. Having a bad day, necessary. They can't all be good. It's like having the sun out every day. Being from New England, I understand what that's like, but moving to Vegas, there's very few rainy days here. Same with Arizona where I am today. Okay, but there's going to be some. Okay, does that mean I don't work? I mean, it's the same thing with your mind, really. You wake up some days feeling like it. You wake up some days you don't feel like it. They're all necessary. I love when I'm coaching somebody and they say to me, I don't feel like prospecting today. Good. Do it anyway. I mean, it doesn't, first off, I would never say those words. And I know they're being honest with me on my coaching calls, and I appreciate that. But I would never tell myself, I don't feel like working out today. Okay, what's that got to do with actually doing it, though? It doesn't have anything to do with it. All right? So I think it's important that we definitely watch our self-talk. You're in control of it. You are in control of how you perceive this planet, how you perceive your job, your spouse, your kids, your family members, your coworkers. You are in total control of that. So why would you ever see it as bad? If you see it as bad, then do something else until you see it as good. All right? It's really, I know it sounds oversimplistic, but it's actually true. This is your ship. You're in charge. You're doing the steering, and it's up to you how you get there. Okay? So commitment, very important. You can't teach commitment. You either are committed or you are not. Like your body is committed to oxygen, even if you decide, you pass out, you start breathing again. So your body's committed to keeping you alive. You're sleeping, you're still breathing. So that's how you got to be about the daily actions consistent with achieving my goal. I have to be 100% committed to the process. And then being committed is only the beginning of it, though. Then got to be major league consistent with all the actions. I have to be majorly consistent with all my actions. It's my job. It's my life. This is up to me. Okay, the 10 most inspirational 2-letter words in the dictionary, I learned this from a very successful man in my mid-20s. If it is to be, it is up to me. I've always remembered that because it makes so much sense. Okay, if it is to be, it's up to me. And, I'm the one in charge of this. So I'm going to take control and do what I'm supposed to be doing. That's the bottom line. Okay, questions for me today, folks. I've rambled on for 22 minutes here. Questions for me today. Come on. This is your time. Hit *6 on your phone so I can hear you. *6 and I can hear you. Anybody? Is this the No Question Monday? It's No Question Monday, the 28th of October.
Hey, Rex,
right,
this is Sherry.
Hey, Sherry, how you doing?
Good.
No problem. Go ahead.
So that last comment that you just said, if it is to be, it is up said that. That's just like so resonated with me.
You know what? I don't even, I can tell you who I learned it from. I learned it from the most inspirational developer in my hometown who put my little town on the map. Okay. His name is actually one of the minority owners of the Boston Red Sox too. And guess when he said that to me? His name was Sam Tamposi. Sam Tamposi said that to me when he was in the middle of fighting cancer, wore a baseball cap to work. I was in the same building as them, selling real estate, and he called me in his office one day and said, Rick, because I used to sell land for them, and he said to me, here's the most inspirational tool. I don't know if he made that up or if he got it somewhere, but that's where I got it from. He also told me.
That's powerful. It was so powerful when you said that.
Yeah. If it is to be, it is up to me. 10 words, 2 letters each. Yeah. He also was interviewed. The same guy was interviewed in the newspaper, and he said, you know, I'm not kidding. This little town of Nashua, New Hampshire, I'm from. He's the one that put that town, southern New Hampshire, on the map. We're like 45 minutes from Boston, Massachusetts. And, you know, they interviewed him, and they said, you know, how come you're such a great developer? He said, because of experience. And they said, well, you know, no, here's what he said. He said, how come you are such a great developer? He said, I make good decisions. And they said, well, how do you make good decisions? He said, I have experience doing this. And they said, well, how do you get experience? He said, by making bad decisions. I've always remembered that. It's such a great comment. All right, thanks, Sherry. Anybody else? Questions today? Questions, comments, epiphanies? Okay, so I'm going to finish with this today, and I'll let you guys go a couple minutes early. We'll pick this up again next Monday. Remember, okay, number one, subscribe to my YouTube channel and these podcasts. Number two, don't forget to do your business plan. Get it done by Thursday. That's the last day of this month. Get it done by today if you don't have it done, but no later than Thursday. I'm in Arizona this week, all week. Check the schedule. This morning at Goodyear, this afternoon at Camelback, and so forth. Check my Facebook page. I just put a video on there where I'm going to be this week. I look forward to seeing you all. You guys are great. Woo! Have a great week until we talk next week. Thanks for your time.